Breathing could be very hard and could even feel impossible during some calisthenics exercises. But it feels for me like this aspect doesn't get enough attention, while being able to breathe during your exercises will boost your hold times and repetitions, because your muscles need oxygen in order to keep providing you enough strength to keep going. Especially isometric movements, where you have to fully engage your entire body, will make it more difficult to breathe. And this will be extra hard if you also have to do this while being in a more difficult angle. Two good examples where I struggled with breathing, and I think most people have, are the back lever and 90-degree hold. These are both isometrical exercises where you have to engage your full body, with a lot of stress onto the abs. You also have to do this with your body leaning forward and your arms in a difficult angle, because you are pushing or pulling from your waistline. But other skills that especially need an insane core activation will also make it hard to breathe. Mainly at the beginning of learning these moves, and even after unlocking it, it could still feel impossible to breathe in these positions. And if you try to breathe a little bit, the air in your body just escapes instantly, also instantly shutting your muscles off. At least that is what I struggled with, and that's why I couldn't hold these exercises for much longer than 10 seconds. Because after 10 seconds my head almost turned purple and my muscles didn't get enough oxygen to keep going. So despite I haven't found a good tutorial on breathing yet, I will show you how I am trying to be comfortable with this during my calisthenics exercises. Firstly, I will talk about the more straightforward exercises. These exercises have both a concentric as an eccentric part. So for example the push-up. In this exercise you go down, that is the eccentric part, and after you push back up, that is the concentric. For pull-ups it is the other way around. Going up is the concentric and going down is the eccentric. Breathing in dynamic movements, like the push-up and pull-up, is a bit easier, because firstly you can take little moments between every rep to take a breath, and secondly the stress onto your core isn't the same during the whole exercise, so after completing the rep, the core activation is often a lot lower, which makes it easier to breathe. For these kind of exercises I think it's best to breathe out during your concentrics, because this helps generating more force, and the concentric is the hardest part of the exercise. And you can breathe in after completing the rep. So in the push-up, breathe in, then come down, and when coming up, breathe out. For the pull-up, breathe in, then breathe out when coming up, and when coming down you can already try to breathe in, or you can breathe in when you are in the bottom position again. This should be doable. But how does this work with isometric holds? Because then there are no rest periods and the core activation is way more intense. In my experience, it feels like the best way to breathe during your holds is by constantly breathing in and breathing out for a second. So breathe in for a second and then breathe out for a second. And try not to let all of the air escape out of your body. This will constantly supply your muscles with oxygen during the whole exercise. Of course this will still feel impossible at the beginning, so I will show you how I learned to improve this. First of all, I think you just have to accept that you will not be able to breathe naturally when you are just trying a new skill or a new progression. But that is not really a problem, because you will probably not be able to hold this exercise for more than 10 seconds anyway. But it could feel uncomfortable and it could feel like your head is about to pop. When you're doing a skill or progression and you want to improve your hold time to more than 10 seconds, then it will be more of a problem if you can't breathe. Doing these holds over and over will make your body stronger, so these holds will feel easier and easier, and thus it will be easier to breathe. So over time I think this problem will solve itself. But there is a way that helped me to speed up this process, and it is really similar to skill training. Firstly, try to determine how you can comfortably breathe during your holds. So for me that is by breathing in for a second and then breathing out for a second, and doing this during the entire hold. Now go back to the very first isometric progression and apply this to your hold. So if you're struggling to breathe in the back lever, try to take it back to the single leg back lever. And now try to focus on how you breathe during this exercise, and try to control the air and don't let it all escape. You will learn to keep engaging your body and especially your core while breathing, and you will learn this in easier variations, and over time you can improve to harder variations, and eventually you will be able to breathe during the hardest progression, in this case the full back lever. Make you able to increase your hold times, and now with no barriers, except for strength endurance. And being able to breathe will make it possible to improve this. This is the end of this video. I hope that this method that helped me will also help you with your hold times, and with your head not having to explode every time you're trying to do a hold. If you want to check out my Instagram and TikTok, I put the links in the description, as well as a link to my most recent upload. And if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.